Hey, you guys hear that? You hear the birds chirping? Y'all see the trees behind me? The grass below me? Nice and peaceful and quiet here. Nice and peaceful and quiet here. I'm outside on my property. I just got home from work. I mean, in the midst of all this craziness going on with the economy and everything else, uh, when I look around me, one thing that I notice is the birds that you hear tripping in the background. They don't care about the economy. They don't care about what anybody thinks of them. They're just out here tripping around, flying around, living their life. These trees behind me that been around for that some of them been around for hundreds of years. They've been around longer than me. These trees, again, they're living life. They don't care about the economy. They don't care about what anybody thinks. They don't care about no social status. They don't care about politics. Same thing goes for the grass below me. I mean, here in Alabama where I'm at, it's that time of year where it's starting to warm up real nicely. I mean, the temperatures during the day have been in the upper 70s to lower 80s. The grass is green. The trees are starting to grow their leaves back out. You can hear the birds again. And I am back to having to allocate a chunk of my time to yard work, to cut my grass. Because where I'm at down here, it's that time of the year. As where if I was still up in Indiana, all these trees would still be bare. The grass wouldn't be as green as it is, and it would be a lot colder. In fact, I would be out here with a hat and a coat on talking to you guys, not sitting here with a t-shirt. So, like I said, it's interesting how nature could care less about what's going on around it. Nature is going to still do what nature does. The trees are going to still grow, grass is going to still grow. Whatever plants you got, they're going to still grow. Your animals are going to still live their life and do what they do. I mean, the only people, the only living creature that seems to give two rips about the economy, money, what other people think, social status, is the human being. Now, I know this is a crazy question, but sometimes I wonder why. Sometimes I wonder why. I mean, sometimes I wonder how come, as human beings, we can't live a little more like other living creatures live. Now, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the fact that we have the technology that we have. I do appreciate all that. But at the same time, sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. I mean, why can't we just grow our own food and that's the food we eat? Like one person grows fruits and vegetables, maybe another person might go out hunting and they might get the meat. Maybe another person might butcher the meat. You know, there's a name for that, and I forgot what it's called. But sometimes I wonder how come we can't go back to those days and have an actual community. I mean, I like my own space and everything like that, but I think if we had more of a community, I mean, I'm talking in the United States, I think it would help out a lot of people, especially right now. I mean, carton of eggs anymore is $7 and $8 for 12 eggs, which is insane. I mean, that's crazy. That's close to $1 an egg. That's crazy. And as much as I enjoy my land, as much as I enjoy my house, as hard as I worked for this all, I'm not gonna lie to you people. Sometimes I wonder if I ever made the right choice by going this route. I would like to think I did, and I'm not giving up on it at this point. But sometimes I wonder. And I mean, there's been quite a few people online that have posted videos of why they decided to leave the United States and move to other countries. And honestly, I'm beginning to understand why they did it. I mean, the more shenanigans that go on here in the States, the more I'm understanding why certain people decided to leave the States. I mean, honestly, if I wanted to leave the States and travel abroad and live in other countries like some of these people are doing, I could do it too. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I could do it too. But I chose to not do that. I chose to instead take those resources and purchase myself a home sitting on some land. And I would like to think that I made a wise decision doing that. I would like to think I did. But it seems like every time I turn around, it's getting harder and harder for me to do what I need to do for myself financially, despite the fact far that I have far less bills than the average person that's my age. Despite the fact that I don't even have any children, I'm not even married. I mean, like today, my job informed us that rather than clocking out for a half-hour break, we now have to clock out for an hour break. So that is an extra half hour each day that we will not be getting paid. But we still have to allocate that half hour to being at our job, which is crazy. Because, yeah, today, I would say about a couple of hours into my shift, one of my coworkers approached me and they showed me a text message from my supervisor stating that, and this came from the corporate office, that from now on, whenever we clock out for lunch, we gotta clock out for an hour as opposed to a half hour. Some of you guys are probably thinking an hour, that's wonderful. That's double the time that we get to sit and relax. Now, I wouldn't have an issue with that if we got paid for that. But unfortunately, whenever we take a lunch break, we don't get paid. So I'm looking at it like this. So basically, what my job is doing is they're cutting back on everybody's hours. And this goes for the whole facility. It goes for maintenance. It goes for the entire nursing staff. And I'm thinking it also goes for the people that are working in the front offices as well. I'm thinking it goes for the whole entire facility. That we all have to clock out and take an hour break as opposed to a half hour break. And I look at it like this. Cost of living obviously is no cheaper. It's getting no cheaper. And driving to and from my job, that's not going to be no cheaper. But yet, my job is taking money out of our pockets by cutting our hours. Oh, and let's not forget, in less than a month from now, we're going to be required to have uniforms, which we have to purchase. So I'm thinking, cost of living ain't getting no cheaper. It's not going to be no cheaper for me to go to and from for me to commute to and from my job. And if I want to stay at this job, I'm going to have to buy me some new uniforms, shirt and pants. All while the company is basically cutting everybody's hours. Because if I do the math, a half hour a day, you multiply that by 5 days a week, and there's about, in a pay period, we got 10 days. So that's 5 hours less worth of time that we're going to be getting paid. So 5 hours less per week. No, that's 2.5 hours less per week. Because I'm not counting the initial half hour. I'm counting the additional half hour. So an additional half hour a day, multiply that by 5. It's 2.5 hours a week per pay period. That's 5 hours per pay period for us. So in a month, that's 10 hours worth of time out of our day that we still have to be at this job. That we are no longer going to be getting paid for. And I'm not gonna lie to you people, that does piss me off. And it definitely has my mind spinning a little faster of what I'm gonna do to replace my income. Now, you know, I try to turn a new leaf here. I try to be positive about everything despite all the craziness that's going on. I mean, I've started working out again, and I'm glad I did. I feel a lot better. I lost a few pounds, so I'm going to continue to work out. And I also have a little bit more energy throughout the day now that I'm back working out again. And also, I've changed my diet a little bit. I'm eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, and I know some of you say that if you're going to bodybuild, you need to eat meats. And honestly, I get the majority of my protein from vegetables and legumes. I mean, it seems like when I eat a diet that's low in meat, I feel better. I feel cleaner. I'm not as bloated. And on top of that, it's a lot cheaper on the grocery bill. So I'm going to stay that course. And I figure maybe a couple of times a week I'll treat myself to some type of meat, rather it be a steak or a salmon, something of that sort, or a piece of chicken, something of that sort. So, but yeah, anyways, here I've been trying to be all positive and not complain about nothing. But today, when we got that piece of news that came from the corporate office, it pissed me off. It really does. 'Cause like I said, there is no benefit to the employee for us to have to clock out for that extra half hour a day. And like for me, when I calculate the cost of going to and from work every day, the time that I spend going to and from work every day, it's almost like it's not even worth me keeping this job. And right now, that's basically how I feel. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. I'm just pissed off right now. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like losing money. I don't like, I don't like losing money. Now, if I was able to take that time and have it to myself to where I can do what I want to do, that would be different. But given that my job is a good 45 minutes away from where I live, there's not much I'm going to be able to do on that half-hour break. That extra half hour is not even going to be enough for me to go and work out somewhere. It's not even going to be enough for me to go to my gym and work out. I mean, I'll figure out something to do during that extra half hour, or at least for the time being, until I figure out something else as far as a new way to pay the bills, which, I've been looking and there is not really much out here, but I'm probably going to have to. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I'm going to be honest. I'm just pissed off right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know what I want to do, and I'm working on it, but I'm going to have to turn the wheels a little faster on that, though. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And there's a lot of people at my job that are upset, and they've all discussed their frustration. They've all discussed the fact that they're going to look for other jobs and quit. I mean, like I said, I just feel at this point it's not even worth me going to work anymore because of all the shenanigans that are going on. And I was just thinking, the money that I have into houses, it's like sometimes I think if I would have took a chunk of that money and I would have used it to immediately start a few online businesses and then went on ahead and traveled abroad like other people out here doing, sometimes I wonder if I would have took that path, would my life have been any better? So, I mean, a part of me says yes. A part of me would say yes. A part of me would say yes. But yeah, I can definitely understand why people are leaving the country and they're moving abroad. I'm not saying that moving abroad is going to be the answer for everybody. I'm not even saying it's going to be the answer for myself. It could be down the road. I don't know at this point. But I do understand why people are at least entertaining that thought. I mean, it seems like you do all the right things with money. You make at least most of the right choices. You try to be financially responsible. You live a frugal life. You're conservative with your money. You go to work. You do your job like you're supposed to. And it seems like when you take one step forward, society pushes you back 10 steps. I mean, that's how I feel right about now. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. All right, folks. That's all I got for today. That's going to be the video. I have another traveling blog video coming up. So I will catch you on the next video. Stay blessed.